Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. This is live stream 875. If you are not overly familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual around here. We just hang out, talk about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and more times than not, we take a first look at a tabletop game. Every once in a while, I'll do a review. But for the most part, it's usually first looks. And that's going to be the case tonight as we beam on in with Starship Captains from Czech Games Edition. I definitely like this cover art. This is very cool. This kind of has a bit of a lower deck sort of vibe to it, but a little less cartoonish, actually. So this is what we'll be diving on into today. So stay tuned. Should also point out, if you're not overly familiar with the show, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you are tuning in to check out Starship Captains, got to point out it'll probably be 35, maybe 40 minutes, or on occasion more, before we dive on into Starship Captains. So if you are watching live, just kick back, relax. Hopefully you're a subscriber, because there'll be something you can actually take part in. I'll talk about in just a moment. But be good to yourself, right? Relax, enjoy the show. If you are watching 30 minutes or more after this stream ends, there will be timestamps. So if you are impatient and you just got to get to that unboxing, well, you'll be able to do that. Those timestamps are located in the show notes, and depending on what device you may happen to be watching this on, could be right there in the timeline in front of you. So you can always jump ahead if you would like. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel, such as Sammy Uhas's reviews of Pathfinder and Starfinder adventure paths. Got a brand new Starfinder adventure review up. In fact, strangely enough, it was the adventure path that just wrapped up. But for some strange reason, Sammy forgot to send me the first adventure review. So I had parts 2 and 3. I had a reminder. I was like, I don't have the first part. I can't start sharing these reviews. So yes, I finally have the first chapter review, and that is up there. So by all means, check it out. It's the first chapter of the Drift Crashers adventure path for Starfinder. So there is that. You won't find that on the YouTube channel. Also want to mention, this is a live stream. So that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you are a subscriber to the channel and have been for at least 48 hours, you can take part in chat. So a couple of ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay is not having chat on screen and making you wait a couple of days before you can take part in chat after you become a subscriber. So it prevents a lot of hit and run craziness in chat. So first out the gate tonight was Joseph Quam. Oh, wait a second. I'm supposed to say it like Joseph. Some strange reason, about 50% of the time I try to say Joseph Quam, it comes out Joseph Quam. I don't know what it is. But Joseph is here, and he was first out the gate. We've also got the Motor City Madman. Yes, one of our chat moderators, the Madman, is with us. Tessie Trekkie, Flaming Huron, and Mr. Eddie T. Two more of our 4 chat moderators are with us. And Stray Kismet and Kathy Evans are with us, as is Coco B and Vaughn Moore. Who else we got? Have I said hello to everybody? I think so. I think we are in good shape. Joseph said they're steading. They're steading. See, I got his name right, but now I can't read his comment. I'll mention something in a moment, so you'll want to keep in mind with this episode. Anyway, Joseph says, setting my phaser to stun for Starship Captains. Yes, because we're going to dive on in. So good to see a couple of comments in chat saying that the audio is in sync. Yes, I found the issue, and as I figured, it was a Windows update decided. For one, the Windows update didn't even want to tell me that it existed. Gotta like that. I did track it down, though. And I use a virtual audio cable. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually using Adobe Audition to actually do some, some EQ and some effects and things like that. And that runs into OBS Studio. And to do that, I have to use a virtual audio cable. And for some strange reason, yesterday afternoon, after I had recorded a review, which worked perfectly fine, stopped working. OBS Studio was not recognizing. Well, it recognized that the audio cable existed. It just wasn't picking up any signal from it. So I actually spent, I don't know, 7 hours today trying to figure it out. But I did. I finally did. Sarah D is with us in chat, making all of our quartet of chat moderators available to us. Okay, so the other thing is, I got to point out, I had to take a painkiller. I have this pain in my shoulder, and it's weird. I got this pain following my triple bypass surgery, and this really bothered me for a couple of months. And I don't tend to take I don't even take like Tylenol, but it is just, it's like having like a bee sting under my skin. It's like, So don't be shocked to see me like talking like this. So, but it is a very, mild painkiller, but still, and the reality is I still feel this. So I just took it not too long before the stream started. So we'll find out. We'll see. Madman says last week they had a Windows update on their work laptop, take more than 45 minutes. And of course, had to reboot once again because things just wouldn't work. Oh, I don't get it because, Microsoft owns our computers. Drives you nuts. Vaughn said effects. Let's get a nice Darth Vader effect going on the voice sometime. I don't think I can get those kind of effects. I can do effects like telephone voice. Those are actually built in, but not, like Darth Vader, heavy breathing. All righty, so let's jump on into the news because I've got a nice mix for us tonight. Arriving in February from 25th Century Games is Volonimo. I just keep wanting to say Geronimo, but I believe it is pronounced Volonimo. I've got the skinny. Race to the summit to score as many points as possible and win the coveted jersey. To win a race, you must be the first player to get rid of all your cards. Racer cards may be played alone or in specific combinations of the same color or same value. There are also breakaway specialist cards, which can work alone or as part of your team. The game has 5 rounds, each representing the ascent of a different mountain summit by riders in a cycling race. To win the round, you need to get rid of all your cards before any other player. Even if you're not the winner, you can still score points for your position. Keep playing until there's only one player left. At the end of each round, the player with the highest point total is the leader and receives the coveted jersey. The player who receives the jersey at the end of the last round, after the final scoring, is the winner. Wow, this sounds a lot like that Grand Prix race, with the bicycles. Where do they have that in Spain or something? I don't know. Volonimo is for 2 to 5 players, ages 7 and up, plays in around 30 to 45 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of either $19.99 or $20. I have seen 2 conflicting MSRPs. It is going to arrive on February 8th. I do believe that this game has been out of print. So like I said, I think 25th Century Games is releasing I don't know if it's a new edition per se, but it is an out of print game that's coming back. And I know a lot of people dig these sorts of games. And gotta say, I like the artwork with the animal cyclists. So pretty sweet. And come on, it's $20. Can't go wrong. Dante Viper Brandolini is with us in chat. I believe Dante had asked me, maybe I'm misremembering this, but I believe had asked on YouTube in the comment section, right? It may have been yesterday's show, if I would review Tyranny of Dragons for Dungeons and Dragons. I have. I actually have reviewed it. But if memory serves, those are written reviews over at thegaminggang.com. And I will spoil it for you right now. One of my least favorite adventures for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I am not a fan. I got to be honest, I am shocked that Wizards of the Coast has put out like a 4th printing of it when it is not anywhere close to being its best adventure at all. So Dante says, yes, it came out today. I didn't receive it. I wasn't expecting to anyway, because I already have the Tyranny of Dragons that they had released, what it was, about a year ago, maybe a little more than a year. So there you go. There's your answer. Thought I would just let you know. Flaming Hearts is just a cash grab. What are you accusing Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro of? We know everything they do is above board. Moving right along. Also arriving in February is Power Plants from Kids Table Board Gaming. Here's the scoop. Every wizard in the neighborhood knows that the best spell components are grown fresh. Unfortunately, only one particular plot of fertile soil in the area is the best for growing magical plants. Everyone agrees to share the garden, but you have a plan. Your team of loyal sprites will use the powers of the plants to infiltrate the garden as it grows, so that when everything is in full bloom, the most potent patches will belong to you. In Power Plants, you are a wizard growing a shared garden of magical plants with your rivals. Each turn, you choose one of the patch tiles from your hand and add it to the growing garden. You can activate the added tile for its dynamic plant power, or activate all the tiles it touches for their slightly weaker, but still very cool, grow powers. As the fields expand, you strategically deploy your sprites to gain control of more and more of the fantastic flora. Will your magical horticulture skills pay off? Manipulate the garden's growth, gather magic gems, and deploy your team of loyal sprites to repel your competition and be in control of the most valuable fields when the garden is complete. Power Plants is for 1 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $29 when it arrives, also on February 8th, just like Volanomo. This looks cool. You know I like tile laying games. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I like the spatial aspect of it, the kind of puzzly aspect, which is weird because I'm not really into abstract puzzle games. So, but I will mention that there is also a Kickstarter exclusive edition of this, which will be available. It might even be available through Kids Table Board Gaming through their website. And I believe it's got thicker tiles that are made out of wood. And that carries an MSRP of, I believe, $49. So a little bit more, but once again, it's got like kind of deluxe components to it. So keep that in mind. Our friend Chen from Taiwan has joined us. So has Kevin R. Smith. Welcome, welcome, gents. Good to see you both. So Flippy Huron says, I'm not accusing Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro of anything. I'm outright calling them out. Well, you know, I already have. So there is that. So let's talk about some role-playing game news, and it actually has to do with 5e D&D, but not Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, because our friends over at Kobold Press have launched their Kickstarter to bring Deep Magic Volume 2 to the masses. Here's the scoop. Heed Power's Call. New spells and new styles of magic, plus entirely new classes, downtime activities, familiars, plural, and much more for 5e D&D. What is Deep Magic 2? It's an expansion for every spellcaster. We've brewed up and play-tested some truly astonishing options. With Deep Magic Volume 2, you can master new mechanics like True Name Magic, create arcane adversaries, and expand your repertoire with hundreds of new spells for every casting class. It includes new subclasses like the Oath of the Spellsworn and an entirely new base class, the Witch. Also, this volume is going to include at least 20 spells written by backers. As with Volume 1, there's an open call for all backers at the $24 level and up, which I believe is the only pledge level to start with. I don't think there's anything below 24. But regardless, you can contribute a single spell. Joseph points out that this Kickstarter met its goal in 27 minutes. Yeah, I know it. I knew it hit right away. And it's already over 238,000. Yeah, it was just over I think it was over 195 when I took a peek and grabbed this info. So there is a short Kickstarter video for Deep Magic Volume 2. So let's take a peek.
Unlock the secrets of true power. Journey once again to the mysterious realms of magic and shape the cosmos in accordance with your will. Deep Magic Volume 2 is the next installment in Kobold Press's popular series, which presents potent new options for game masters and players with a penchant for enchantment. Master new mechanics, like true name magic, create arcane adversaries, expand your repertoire with hundreds of new spells for every casting class, blaze new trails with subclasses like the Oath of the Spellsworn, or an entirely new base class, the Witch. And because all wizards grow finer with age, this campaign also includes a remastered version of the first Deep Magic volume, completely reorganized and updated version of the original book, with a few new tricks for clever casters, like the Urge, an epic new base class that wields both arcane and divine magic. Merge the might of these volumes with a limited edition gift set, or choose the tome that speaks to you. So, heed Power's call and back Deep Magic on Kickstarter today.
Yes. As mentioned, this project has already passed, well, I think now it would be past the 400% funding mark, because I think the funding goal was 50,000. I saw it earlier, trying to remember. But yes, we already know this is already funded. You can reserve a copy of Deep Magic Volume 2 in hardcover with PDF for a $59 pledge. You can just grab the book in PDF if you'd like for a $24 pledge through February 17th. There are also pledge levels to score the first volume as well, which I have. And the first volume, this is going to be a new edition with some new content. I think some errata as well. So there are some special pledge levels that provide like a slipcase set of both volumes too. So very, very nice. So I should mention for Dante that just because I give something a less than stellar review score does not mean that it's completely unworthy of your time. Because you got to remember, I can only provide reviews of what a game is, right? What an adventure is. Now, I will comment, hey, I could see doing this or doing that, so on and so forth. And there are things in Tyranny of Dragons that are pretty cool. Some of the set pieces, some of the encounters. But to be the kind of adventure I would want to run, I would have to tear it apart, toss some stuff out, create some new things too. So don't feel bad that you went and got it. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not fatal, right? So, Andres the Barbara is with us. Welcome aboard. So, a little discussion about this being for 5e D&D. Kevin mentions that he's pretty down on 5e right now, so not sure about supporting this. I get it. I completely understand. Kobold Press, good folks. Wolfgang Bauer, really nice guy. Really enjoy my interviews I've had with him. And all the folks I've dealt with from Kobold Press, just top-notch people. So if this was from, say, Hasbro, I probably wouldn't be sharing this with you. So, because yes, I'm very down on Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast at the moment. But got to also keep in mind that Kobold Press has been ready to go with this Kickstarter for a bit. So what are they supposed to do? Just cancel it? We'll see. Anyway, this looks pretty cool. I've got the first volume. It is very, very interesting. Pretty sweet. Moving right along, a new adventure has arrived for Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 from Modiphius Entertainment. Here's what I know about Operation Vesta. 350 million kilometers from home. It is late 1940 and word reaches Section M of strange activities in the mountains of Argentina. A local source has spotted supply trucks with a distinctive logo journeying into the interior, heading toward a deserted mountain range. Section M's interest is further piqued by the presence of Dr. Constantine von Redler, a rising star in the Nachtwolf science divisions. Von Redler is a known expert on the Migo. Yes, one of my favorite Lovecraftian races, and is thought to specialize in advanced teleportation technology. What could this accomplished scientist be up to in the recesses of this remote mountainous region? That presence of such a senior Nachtwolf operative bears further investigation, and Section M needs to find out what he's up to. Traveling by ship to Buenos Aires, the agents must establish contact with local assets, secure transport, and then make their way into the perilous interior as they attempt to pick up von Redler's trail. I know, I'm just having some fun with that name. Once in situ, they must find and penetrate a long-abandoned Migo facility. Spoilers, people! Which contains powerful technology, which in turn transports them off-world to Vesta Base, a heavily fortified asteroid 350 million kilometers from home. Can the agents kill or capture the wayward scientific genius, secure or destroy the equipment, and make their escape before Nachtwolf can respond? And what happens when the original inhabitants come to reclaim their legacy? Find out in Operation Vesta, another thrilling mission for Achtung Cthulhu 2D20. It features a 31-page mission for 4 to 6 agents in both standard and printer-friendly formats. Can be run as a one-off adventure or easily incorporated into ongoing campaigns. Survive the wilds of Argentina, uncover a hidden Migo outpost, then take an interstellar journey to Vesta Base. You know it. It's 350 million kilometers from home. It's a mix of exploration, investigation, and combat to suit different play styles. Wield bizarre new technology like Nachtwolf bear claws. Like, you mean like the Danish? And fire snares. Features maps to enhance the playing experience for both players and GMs. And do need to point out, it requires the Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 core books to run. Always like to see new adventures coming out for Achtung Cthulhu 2D20. I swear one of these days, I am going to convince the PR folks who work with Modiphius Entertainment to send me those 2 core books. One of these days. I think they're out of print, or well, they were coming back into print. So I think when I asked last time, they were out of print. So I'm going to ask again, because I really would like to see them. I really would. And I'd like to share reviews with you of them also, especially since Cubicle 7 Entertainment no longer produces any of their Call of Cthulhu stuff, like the Cthulhu Britannia and the London Source book, which, well, it was a box set, actually, which was awesome. And, of course, they had World War Cthulhu. So, unfortunately, they couldn't get on the same page with Chaosium. Anywho, this 31-page adventure is available right now in PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $7. One thing I will mention is that these PDF alone adventures just don't seem to have a lot of artwork. I don't know what the deal is. So we get the maps, we get, that kind of stuff, handouts. But usually, at least with Achtung Cthulhu adventures, the ones that are PDF only never have like a much artwork. Kind of disappointing. Stray Kismet says Cubicle 7 is amazing. Yes, it is good stuff. Flaming Heron says really enjoying Achtung Cthulhu. I've told the origin story of Achtung Cthulhu before. At least the first edition, not the 2D20. So, Flaming Heron says, hate Hasbro, not Kobold Press. Stray Kismet also points out Kobold Press is amazing as well. Yep, all good people. All good people. So, final news piece I've got. The fantasy role-playing game, The Magical Land of Yeld from Atarashi Games, is currently pay what you want at Drive-Thru RPG. Here's the deets about the game. The Magical Land of Yeld is an all-ages tabletop role-playing game based on the fantasy world of the popular comic Modest Medusa. It features a self-contained role-playing game, including special instructional comics that help you learn how to play. Build and customize a child hero with 9 friend types, 8 heroic jobs, 6 advanced jobs, and 6 monster jobs, plus hundreds of items, spells, and special dice to collect and master. Explore the Magical Land of Yeld with unique map, calendar, and travel rules. As your children travel and explore, they'll grow older and stronger, but they'll have to find a way to escape Yeld before their 13th birthdays, or they'll become monsters and be trapped in the magical land forever. Fights come to life with team-based tactics inspired by classic Japanese role-playing games and adventure games like Secret of Mana, The Legend of Zelda, and Final Fantasy Tactics. Use the monster formula to create custom monsters, or choose from over 100 ready-to-play monsters. There's a full campaign. Face the vampire Prince Dragul and his Hunters of Yeld to unlock the magical door that will lead home. Right now, the 266-page corebook PDF carries a recommended price of $1. Remember, it's pay what you want. So you can even get it for nothing. But the recommended price is $1 over at Drive-Thru RPG. Yes. So I'm going to do something different tonight because I have reviewed The Magical Land of Yeld. I have it right here. And if you missed my review, I really like this all-ages role-playing game. And it's important to understand it's all ages. It's not just for kids. Although the player characters are children, but they can be like tweens and early teens. Once again, they have to escape the land of Yeld before they turn 13. Otherwise, they become monsters and they're trapped forever. But I just, real quick, I wanted to show you the book itself. Now, I believe at the time that I got this, this was like $48 for this core book. And it is really, really nice. The production quality of this, nice, thick paper stock. So kind of give you, these are your archetypes, the rival, the bully, the baby, the dog. You can play a dog. Fortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to play a cat, but that's okay. My 2 cats won't hold it against the fine creators of the Magical Land of Yeld. So you got an action board. That's how combat works. And you have an action chain in combat. So very unique. It's pretty light just because there's 266 pages or so. I think this book is like 240 off the top of my head, if I remember right. But I just want to give you a peek at this. And there are supplements too. It's not just this core book. Now, there was a starter set, which was, I mean, it was okay, but the reality is I would certainly recommend picking up the core book, and especially right now, we're talking $1, really free if you want. And I tell people this all the time, and people out there are strapped for cash. Times are tough for a lot of people. So when you find a publisher sharing something as a pay what you want on Drive-Thru RPG, they're absolutely fine with you paying nothing. If they weren't, then they would make you pay a minimum amount, right? But this is really, really well done. The webcomic, which I think Modest Medusa is available as graphic novels too. But the webcomic is fun, but very, very well done. And as you can see, this isn't just, thrown together so that they could tie it up with the IP for Modest Medusa. Really, really like this. If you're curious, my review score was 9 out of 10. That's how much I think this is worth having on your shelf, adding it to your collection. And it's a nice introduction to role-playing games too, without being like completely dummied down. So definitely take a peek at the Magical Land of Yeld, which is available right now for $1. That's a recommended price. Like I said, get it for whatever you'd like to pay. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, then by all means, please swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation, such as the Madman happens to do from time to time. And we just had somebody else swing by, and these were not small donations, who, and off the top of my head, I forget their name. I know I mentioned it last week. I'll mention it again on tomorrow's show. So those of you out there who either or and use the banners as well as paypal.me, thank you very, very kindly. It is certainly appreciated. Stray Kismet says 9 out of 10 ain't bad on the Jeff scale. No, it is far from being bad on the Jeff scale. There are quite a lot of Dungeons and Dragons releases from Wizards of the Coast that don't even sniff a 9. So put that in perspective. Joseph says, I'll buy that for $1. All right. So there you have it. The news tonight. Yes. And shoulder's still bugging me. Wish I knew what it was. I don't know if I slept on it wrong or something. I have no clue. But it's not pleasant. It's not, and it's weird because it's like I can't like find a spot, where it's like, oh well, that feels better. But the weird thing is, like, if I rotate the shoulder, like here, nothing, fine. I don't feel anything. Here it kind of pops a little. So I don't know. I must have slept on it wrong and took it right back to how it used to be before I had the after the triple bypass. Fleming Heron says, hopefully it's just age and not something serious. I don't think it's anything serious. It's not like, oh, wow, it like extends here or anything like that. No, it's just in the shoulder and kind of the shoulder blade. And I have like a massager, and it helps a little bit, but then it just, yeah, it just comes back. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, everybody. All right. So we are going to be diving on into Starship Captains from Czech Games Edition in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Harry, I just love to go to the movies with you because you always have money for popcorn.
Oh. Surprise. Let's go and get a hot dog.
I can't, Harry. Your brother is holding my hand.
My brother? Well, I thought he was your brother. How about a chocolate sundae?
I'm going to visit my grandmother that day. Who's going to go to the snack bar to get some 7-Up, the Uncola?
I'll flip you for it.
Harry, my back still hurts from the last time.
Refreshing as the land of sky blue waters, land of lake and pine, cool enchantment, and the beer refreshing.
The land of sky blue waters, a big, fresh land. You can see the bigness, feel the freshness. And in Ham's beer, you can taste it. A taste as big and fresh as the land of sky blue waters. Ham's, Ham's.
Refreshing as the land of sky blue waters, and the beer refreshing, and the beer refreshing.
Wouldn't a cold Ham's taste good right now?
Want a cup of Wilkins coffee?
What'll Mr. Wilkins do if I don't?
Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
Introducing Munchos.
Munchos.
The all-new potato snack from Frito-Lay.
Like Munchos.
It's not a potato chip, it's a potato crisp.
Love Munchos.
It's thicker than a potato chip, thus it's crisper with more potato flavor.
Found Munchos.
Try them. You'll discover there's more to a Muncho.
I suppose that Wonkin's shoulder is bothering him now, too. Yes, the popcorn digger in the first commercial. I like going to the movies with you because you always have money for popcorn. And then he's sort of like, well, sort of like, not this time, baby. I thought it was kind of funny, that whole thing. And yes, Cookie Monster got a dye job. Yes, the Munchos commercial, which was long before Sesame Street. Kind of wild. And yes, I was waiting to see who was going to jump on board with the Hams bear and the cultural appropriation. Yep, good old Kevin jumped in and scored that one. I was like, who's gonna make the comment? Who's gonna make that comment? I'm waiting. Who's gonna do it? I have to say, when I was a kid, we used to go have pizza we would usually pick it up from this pizza place that wasn't too far from our house in Chicago. We lived on the Northwest side, and the place was called Marie's. And it was one of those pizza places that was connected to a liquor store, and the pizza place had a bar. And I remember we didn't eat in too often, but we would every once in a while. And they had one of those Hams beer signs. And Hams was famous for this. Hams would have these beer signs that were all lit up, and they would make it look like the water was actually, it was running water, and it looked really, really cool. And as a kid, I was just fascinated by that damn sign. So I'd always, it's like there was another place, and I think Marie's is still around. There's another place called Barnaby's, which I learned is a chain of pizza places, which we always thought it was just, you know, an Illinois thing, a Chicago area thing. And they had, it wasn't really a bar, but it was like a beverage area that had beer. And they had one of those Ham signs as a kid, and it was different. And I used to be like, it's really too bad Ham's is such horrible beer. So, Bond says, well-meaning technical note, consider lowering the gain on the clips or raising the gain on your mic. See, the weird thing is that I have a limiter, and the limiter is on for those clips. So, and I actually go through and I actually, believe it or not, I put the clips, the little ads, the commercials and that together. And then I actually export the audio and level it out. So, don't know. Sorry about that. But yeah, usually we don't really have that big of a problem. So Kevin says, guess Hams didn't make it all the way to Ohio. They don't remember it. Joseph says they grew up in Minnesota. Ham's beer was brewed in St. Paul. It was a big deal when he was a kid, just like Old Style here in the Chicago area. Old Style is kind of a local beer, kind of skunky. I mean, it's, you know, worst case scenario, I drink it. It's not like it's Milwaukee's Best or something like that. So it's like, okay, I would drink Old Style. And I actually dated somebody, she only drank Old Style. I was like, really? Because I mainly drank Miller Lite because my best friend, Elliot Miller, we always used to joke around. It was the family label. So that's what we drank, Miller Lite. And I used to ask her, I said, how come you only drink Old Style when you're drinking beer? And she said, oh, it's because my dad. What my dad drank. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So Coco B says they snagged a case of Hams in North Dakota a few years back. Yep, not good. Joseph says, yeah, it was rough taste. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not horrible. If you're like, man, I got to have a beer or 10. Yeah, okay. All right, so tonight we are going to dive on in and take a look at Starship Captains from Czech Games Edition. Get ready, I'm going to mispronounce people's names. It's designed by Peter B. Hofgaard with art and graphic design provided by Mergen Erdenbayer, Yuri Mikovic, Radim Peck, Jakob Politzer, and Franisek Sedlacek. Oh, I bet you I got none of those right. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 25 minutes per player, and it'll carry an MSRP of $59.95 when it hits stores this month. Kevin says, I thought Foster's was Australia's trash beer. Yes, that's what I had always heard, is that nobody in Australia drank Foster's. Just like people in Mexico don't drink Corona. So, I don't know. I've had Foster's. I remember drinking Foster's back in the day at Pleasure Island at Disney World because all the beer cans were the same price. And of course, you had the oil can of Foster's, which had way more beer in it. So we were drinking Foster's whenever we were there. Okay. Anyway, I was going to say, I thought this might already be out because it was originally supposed to come out at the end of last year. But I believe that Starship Captains is hitting stores. It might even be this week. So here we have it. A few things I do want to mention. Verdun Grebelocks has joined us. Welcome aboard. Says it's all about the Tecate. Yeah, I like Tecate. I like Dos Equis too. Dos Equis is fine. If like cost weren't a thing, and I was gonna have like a beerish sort of drink, it would be Guinness. I would just drink Guinness. And a lot of times I do. It's skunky beer time when your friends are like, I'm pretty broke. It's like, all right, fine. Go get a couple of cases of this crap. Yes, those times have happened with Elliot Miller and myself. So, all right. Anyway, fine folks over at Czech Games Edition were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but no one affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. It's important you know that. All right, so let's take a peek at the back here. I will point out this box is pretty hefty. Congratulations on your promotion. It's an exciting time to be a Starship Captain. Maybe your ship is a bit too old and maybe your crew is a bit too new, but there's a lot of work to be done. And if you don't do it, some other captain will. So fix up your ship, train your crew, and send them on important missions that will prove you have the finest ship in the fleet. And we get a list of all the components inside. Now, you may remember if you were watching last night's show, I also got Deal with the Devil from Czech Games. That's another box that's pretty weighty. Then again, maybe it's just because of the shoulder thing. Speaking of the shoulder, I saw Coco B and the Madman also pointed out they're having problems with their shoulders. Yeah, it's just weird. And it's not like a muscle ache sort of thing. Anyway, enough of that. Let's take a peek to see what we've got inside. So we've got some decks of cards. So Mr. Eddie T needs to remind me to look at the cards. Got a bunch of miniatures. I'm going to take a guess they are color-coded by player. And then maybe these are the baddies. Here, possible. But it does look like we've got different sculpts of those. So we've got some baggies. We've got a little score pad. Dual-sided on those. We get a little catalog. This is an excellent game. Lost Ruins of Arnak was one of my favorites of, what was it? What did it come out? 2019? So, Straight Kismet said they fell on their head the other day. Can they join the club? No. The shoulder injury club only. Flaming Heron says this looks like it has everything but the kitchen sink. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a bit in here. All right, so we've got 4 player aids, player references. So it looks like we have a lot of iconography. And we'll take a closer look at one of these in a moment. You know what? I'm going to move this off to the side. So, great Panasonic autofocus god, be with us tonight. So we got our round overview. We've got our crew and artifacts. Oh, So that other color, those are androids. So we've got cadets, ensigns. So the color represents their rank. Gotcha. Then we got commanders. And we've got medals. And then here we've got all the various different icons. So making moves, repairing damage, taking artifacts, got missions. I should mention that I would hope that the video is a little bit sharper than it has been in the past because I'm actually using a different encoder for this. So, in fact, I was kind of bouncing around getting a new video card. And then, of course, looking at the prices, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. But this is a different kind of rendering. So it's supposed to actually provide sharper images at a lower bit rate to YouTube. So hopefully that is the case. I was going to say the review that I uploaded looked pretty good. Looked pretty good as far as the text. All right, so here we've got our rules here. So yes, we have red ensigns. So we've got cadets, ensigns. So we have red, yellow, and blue ensigns. We've got a double-sided main board. Says Captain's Log, test, test. Is this thing recording me? Oh, cool. Do I need to say Captain's Log or can I just start talking? So we have 3 double-sided faction tracks, shipboards. Oh, you got to put the shipboards together. It says there's tape included. That's pretty wild. Yeah, we're going to throw some tape in here for you. But I got to admit, that's like really nice because a lot of times people, bring games with them to places and they crack the game open and they're like, oh yeah, we're all going to learn it together. And you might be someplace where there isn't any tape. So Flaming Heron says it looks like the video is pretty sharp. Says they normally struggle to see the text on games. Maybe it's just because he's next to blind. Man says looks better than last week. Maybe it's his new glasses that have something to do with it, though. It's kind of funny, too, because the size of the font has a lot to do with it. And, of course, got to keep in mind, on my end, it's going to be far sharper than it is on your end because YouTube compresses everything. Sarah D mentioned that she's got a permanent damage rotator cuff from a bad Amazon pallet. Shoulder injuries are no fun. All right, Sarah, come on. Admit the truth. It's from slapping Mr. Eddie T around. Come on, you can be honest with us. Speaking of Mr. Eddie T, he says, looks good. All right, so here's our setup with the main board. Dan Wheeler's popped in. Good to see you, Dan. Says, I keep getting here late. No! Hey, at least you're not like Viper Dave usually pops in just as I'm like, all right, that's it for this time out. Coco B says, I can never find tape. It's supposed to be in the junk drawer. Darn kids. All right, so we've got the main board, player setup. Captain's Log. My refurbished cruiser is in much better condition than I was led to believe. And after meeting my crew, I'm certain I got the best of the class. So we've got, you'll have like a ship token. This looks almost like it's supposed to be kind of like the bridge. And I take a guess, this damage. Those look like those are damaged. Get a text slot board. So it says, choose one person to be the starting player. The starting player gets the starting player marker. Yes, that's usually the case. And takes the first turn of the game. Players take turns in clockwise order. On your turn, you pick one of these choices: activate a room or complete a mission. Or you can pass. Oh, decisions. Wancho's with us. Good to see you, Wancho. Thanks for popping on in, sir. He says Mr. Eddie T's too tall to be slapped around. Well, use one of those like little reach things, right? The little claws for your reach stuff. Like that's, oh, it's up on the shelf. I can't get it. Just take the claw and slap them around. I'm just teasing. So activating a room, we've got helm, weapons, science, and repair. So the helm moves the ship. Weapons fire at pirates. Because I think the pirates are the only enemies in this, which probably opens up the possibility for expansions, right? With other enemies. So Mr. AT says, don't let her lie. She beats me all the time. Science allows you to take a tech and repairs the ship. So it's activating a room with a crew member. So you can activate rooms with artifacts. Okay. Going places. So you got your moves. Says when you activate a room that's got these 2 arrows, you get 2 moves. This is 1 move. Now remember, we've got our little player aid here. That's going to help us with these various different icons. So we have jumps. So we've got destinations. We have missions, stations, and triangle tiles. Some planets have nothing of interest right now, but it's still okay to end your turn there. Maybe a mission will show up later. Sergi says, see if I buy you Girl Scout cookies again, Mr. Eddie T. You will go without, sir. Without. All right, so we got damage and repair. So yes, that is a damage marker. So if you take damage when you have no empty cargo slots, you must discard an artifact or pirate token to make room for it. Wow. So this is your cargo here, so you have to have space for the damage. I'm taking a guess there's probably no player elimination. Stray Kismet says, blink twice if you need help. So we got our pirates, we got techs, we have different kinds of tech. So we have room tech, ability tech, and omega tech. Omega tech scores points at the end of the game. Researching a tech. Seems like there's a good amount to this game. So we got completing a mission. So once you complete a mission, you need to reveal a new mission somewhere else. Take the highest numbered face-up triangle tile and place it face down on the planet where you just completed the mission. The planet you took the tile from is now the only planet with nothing on it. Deal a new mission there, face up. We have Pirate Uprising. Meet your crew. Red ensigns fly your ship and often take leadership roles on missions. Really? I don't know about that. I don't know. That's the mark of death. Yellow ensigns handle weapons, tactics, and security. Oh, so we're going with non-tech color coordination. Oh, I get it. I see where you're going. Blue are trained for research and engineering tasks. Cadets, not good at anything yet, but they try hard. Then we got commanders, which we have these white rings that you put around them. Drop on top. Seasoned veterans, and they act like it. And then androids, mysterious tin can guests who have offered to join your crew for a short time. So we have training and promotion. And you can get medals, and you can spend those medals to improve your crew. Nice. So, meet the factions. We've got the cooperative. Oh, you mean the Federation? Stray Kismet says, Eddie's a red shirt. What's the worst that can happen? Your faction wants to be the leaders of the galaxy, but really you are just new kids on the block. Your position on this track represents how much the admirals at Fleet HQ like you. The Tin Can. Once the rulers of the galaxy, these ancient androids are now scattered and confused. You may find them willing to share technology with your delightfully childlike people. And the Neon, ruthless pirates who raid tin can settlements just for fun. Always seem to get the better of you in any negotiation. They never let friendship get in the way of a good fight. All right, so then we got ending the round, ending the game. Game ends after 4 rounds. The cooperative gives every captain a commendation and tells you all what a great job you've done. But among yourselves, you know that some captains have done a better job than others. And now it's time to calculate who is the best. So you get points for missions, points from the 3 faction tracks, points from any Omega techs, and from your passenger in the solo game, because yes, this has solitaire play. 1 point for each commander, android, and pirate token that you've got on your ship. Half point for each medal and artifact on your ship, and minus 1 point for each point of damage. Now we've got an epilogue here, and it says, look up your score in this list to discover your epilogue. And there are actually a lot of them. So, and then it goes 0 to 20, and then we have 75 and up. But then each individual number actually has an epilogue. So Dan says a review would be cool for sure. Yes. Look forward to a review, because thankfully we've actually been able to get some board games to the table. So I will have a review of Twilight Struggle Red Sea very, very soon, because we got to play that. So here's our solo rules. Rule summary and notes on certain cards. And the effects, which look like pretty much almost the same thing that we have here. All right, so those are the rules. What did we end up with? 23 pages? Yeah, but a lot of images throughout. So if we were looking like Avalon Hill rulebook, this is like 8 pages, if even that. Okay, so I think this is the tech board from what we were looking at. And these are dual-sided. Okay, so it's 2 to 4 players. And then this is for solitaire. Cool. As we saw, we've got some Euro-sized cards, and then we have what look like standard-sized cards. So I think these punch boards, though I should say, this punch board here is the ships. And then these popped out from someplace. So we'll take a peek at that in a moment. So here's our main board. So here's our main game board. And this is dual-sided, and I'm taking a guess. This is probably based on number of players. Okay, so let's see. So I'm thinking 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. And then these are the different planets that have missions. So let's see what this side shows. Well, it shows 2, 3, and 4 here too. But it almost looked like there's fewer planets. Is that the case? Oh, maybe not. Okay. So that's interesting. So there's our board here. So Russell Higgins has joined us in chat, pointing out the triangles are upside down. I noticed that myself. These are almost like yield signs, at least in the United States. Okay. So we've got our ships, which, remember, we have to use tape. That tape better be in here. So I'll give you a little closer look at this. I'm going to take a guess. This is the bottom of the shipboard. And this is the top, because it looks like we punch this out. So we've got an area here where I think we put our crew. Then we punch these out. You might be able to see, because that's where our cargo and damage go. Okay. And then I saw this. This is kind of interesting. Is this like our pirate board? We got that little black flag. Oh, it's Kobold Press headquarters. That's what it is. Yes. Some folks who are tuning in who know, very little about role-playing games would be like, what? What the hell is he talking about? Kobold Press. This is dual-sided. We got more punch boards. So, oh, you know what? These are faction boards. We got the 3 factions, right? So that's the pirates. This is, I'm taking a guess, maybe this is the collective. These punch boards are cut real nicely. As you can see, things popping out already. All right, so we've got another ship. And this, I'm guessing, is the tin cans. So these are the factions, which I guess tracks our relationships with those different factions. We've got some more boards here. I think these are the tech boards for the player. So Dan Wheeler says, good Kobold Press joke, they laughed. So yeah, I think that's what you basically do is you've got your ship, then you've got like your tech board, like so, probably in front of you. So here we have another ship here, and another ship here, and we have our tape, our little, like little stickies there. That's pretty funny. Uh-oh. Is this broken? No. Okay. I was like, I think this is like the stand for the ships. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. I was going to say, there's a lot of stuff in here. No wonder this was pretty damn heavy. All right, so we'll put the game board back in. We've got the various different ships. And we've got the different boards. Put our little tape in there. All right, so let's start looking at the sculpts. So we won't look at all of them, all the different colors, because obviously they're the same sculpts on some of these. I think these are all the same. So this is the little android guys, the tin cans. All right, come on. There we go. Let me give you a look here. Roger P is with us. Welcome aboard, Roger. Good to see you once again. Okay, so that is the tin can. Got a few of those, and then we've got these discs, which we put on our commanders when they get promoted. So we've got those. Let's see. I would think the blue is probably going to come out the best. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, because they're all not all different. So, but I think they end up with the same sculpts regardless of the color. So it appears there are 4. Yeah, it looks like there's 4 sculpts. Still a couple in here. Maybe there's one more because I thought I saw, there we go. I was going to say, I thought I saw somebody saluting on the back. Okay, so we've got 5 different sculpts. So we've got the ensign saluting. We have the Kirk just standing there posing. So Flaming Heron says, sculpts look fine. Well, they don't have to be crazy detailed. I mean, I think it's nice that they actually did sculpts. They could have just taken different colored pawns and put them in there. So now this, I think it's a woman with an afro. Kind of what I think I'm getting here. There we go. And then we have Kate Mulgrew just standing there posing. There we go. All right. And how many do we have of each of the colors? I thought I saw 19 of each. What did the rules say? Let's take a look. 18. So you got 18 red, yellow, and blue. And 12 cadets. And they have the same sculpts as well. So there you have it. I'm just double checking. Yes, there are 5 sculpts. Taking a look through. Okay, so there are the different ensigns, and should mention that these are hard plastic, not like soft plastic like we see sometimes. Especially when we have a game that the miniatures are, it's like a miniature game, a miniatures game. And then the minis are soft plastic. Oh, I hate that because they are so difficult when you're painting. I mean, they're not harder to paint. It's just harder to keep the paint on those. So you really have to treat that plastic, and it's a huge pain in the ass. That was one of the reasons why I didn't give Sword and Sorcery a better score from Ares Games, because it had those damn sort of plastic, soft plastic minis. Right, so these are tech, right? We won't look at all the cards, but we'll just look at a few of them. So these are tech cards. So a matter converter, dimensional lockers, navigator suit, hyper pads, trophy display with a pirate. Looks like wreckage from a pirate ship. Stealth paint. This game could be a lot of fun. Trash compactors. Okay, so this is, I think this is a mission. Daedalus Accords, so for the tin cans. And then the pirates. So sabotage negotiations. I did wonder why they insisted on 2-hour restroom breaks. Repossession treaty. Okay, and then these are, I don't know. I have no idea. So we've got objectives. Since you've been doing such a great job, we'd like you to do more work. The new objective, Daedalus Accords, and pirated software. Okay. So I would take a guess that completing these missions is going to affect your relationship on the faction track. So then these are going to be our cooperative missions, I guess. Isn't that what our Federation analog is called? Wasn't that what it was, the cooperative? Crowdsourcing, routine maintenance. And then these are, I think these are also tech, a different kind of tech. Galactic map, crash reports, weapons index, astropedia, artifact blueprints. Huh, okay. All right, so we've got all of these smaller cards. You know what? I don't think they're missions. I don't know what these cards represent. We'll find out. We'll find out. So those there, because this looks like this deck is the missions deck. So let's take a peek here. Yep. Yeah, it's got to be. Escort the ambassador. Yeah, that would be a mission. Right? That would certainly be a mission. Okay, so scrapyard. Once again, we're not going to look at all of these. I think they're all, oh, you know what? They're different decks. All right, so these are all missions. Are these artifacts? Maybe that's what these are. Maybe these are artifacts. No, maybe not. Because they're extra characters. That's kind of cool. Nice. Okay, so that's with that. And there's the pirates and the tin cans. So it's just like their base. Okay, so shady deal. Experimental research. First contact. Infiltrate pirate base. Save a planet. kind of looks like we've got some characters throughout that are being shown, like the crew of a particular ship, because we've seen that character and that character a few times. We've seen the blonde-haired captain find the ancient beast. Tin can library. There's quite a bit to this game. Very nice. All right, so what I'm going to do here is use a couple of these bags for the cards so they don't go flying all over the place. In the box, come on. I was going to say, here we go, got those. So, Stray Kismet says, quest items and MacGuffins? I don't know, maybe. It's a possibility. Probably would have been a good idea if I put these cards in with them. Duh. Okay, so we have got all the different punch boards. We've got the main board. We've got the tech board. We have the, gosh, there's just loads of stuff in here. We've got the 4 different ships. We have all of these various different ensigns, our player aids, score pad, plastic bags, and let's not forget the rule book. And that is what we find when we take everything from Starship Captains outside the box. So once again, Starship Captains is from Czech Games Edition. It is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 25 minutes per player, and will carry an MSRP of $59.95. When it arrives in stores, I believe this month. So there is that. Very nice. And of course, I will have a review of Starship Captains in the very near future. Stray Kismet said, yeah, maps and stuff. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in this box, and you just saw it. So very nice. Looking forward to checking that out. That is pretty cool. Yes. All right. So don't forget, you can get the Magical Land of Yeld over at Drive-Thru RPG as a pay what you want. Recommended price is $1. Don't have to pay $1, but that's recommended price. Don't miss out. It is very, very cool. All right. So that is it for tonight's show. Because I was screwing around with trying to figure out why the virtual audio cable wasn't working last night, I did not post the review for Gran Mechanismo today. So I'll just wait till tomorrow. I know. Funny enough, I don't like to put too many videos out there at one time, because they sort of cannibalize viewers from each other, I think. But keep in mind, one of the reasons why I'm trying to get that Gran Mechanismo review out there is so I can share my Cyborg review as well from Free League Publishing. Right, on tomorrow's show, it is going to be a War Game Wednesday, and we are going to dive on into Skies Above Britain from GMT Games. And this is a hefty box as well, because it's going to have various different tiles in it with stickers that you have to actually put the stickers on the tiles because they represent the aircraft. So that is what's on the agenda for tomorrow. And then on Monday's show, we will take a look at Deal with the Devil from Czech Games Edition as well. This is for exactly 4 players. So as I mentioned yesterday, it looks very cool. I'll show you the back. It sounds very unique. So you've got 4 players. One of the players is the devil. But the other players who aren't the devil don't know who the devil is. So sounds very, very interesting. So I'm very curious to take a peek at that. So that'll be on next Monday's show. All right. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Gran Mechanismo from Osprey Games. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for hanging out. If you were watching live, I appreciate it quite a bit. Of course, if you were watching live and took part in chat, big tip of the cap to you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're also keeping each other company while I'm babbling on about various things. Like my shoulder hurting. I'll live. Of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy life to watch any of the videos here on the channel. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it happens to be in your neck of the woods. I'll be back tomorrow. And of course, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.